friends. Today we are continuing on from last week's video. If you'll recall, in last week's video I was making a series of just plain bases for ephemera. So whether it was journal cards or tags or little booklet kind of things, I just wanted to get some covered up with a basic base so that then later I could come along and decorate them as needed for different projects. So I mentioned that I would finish up off screen after doing the ones that I had kind of shown you, and I did do that, and so I thought I'd share some of that pile with you here today. Now these were using wallpaper, and then on the inside I used the lining from a security envelope, you know, the kind that you get in the mail in your bills or whatever. This one is lined with painter's paper. This one I did not line because I intend to just use it, have it wrap around a page, and then glue it in place as pockets. That one, and then the same, same with this one. Okay, it's kind of upside down, isn't it? There we go. So I did those, and then this one I took a minute to sew around, and I actually just collaged this one with some leftover scraps from the others. I had quite a few Christmas papers I was playing with, so some of them have a lot of Christmas theme to them. So I did this one with a map, then you saw that one. We did this one on screen last week. I think I did this one after we were off screen with a bigger card, and then I cut it into 2 tags and I backed them with, this was from a notebook, just has plain paper, so it's kind of nice for backing tags. This one was a scrap where I had been practicing some stenciling, and so I saved the scrap and I went ahead and turned it into a tag and then backed it with some coffee dyed paper. This has the grill mark lines from when I was baking it in the oven. And actually, I know that they're not straight across the back, but I kind of like that. I like that it looks like that. Just kind of a fun element. There's one with book page. Here's one of the map ones we did last week. And I don't remember, did we do this one last week with the wallpaper, tall skinny wallpaper tag? Yeah, I think we did. And then a fatter map page. This is the one we did last week because this has the whole map. This one was the other piece of paper I didn't use, so I did it off camera. Then I have this one that was from the old magazine, and I just liked that it had this graphic here, so I used it to line the top. This is going to be a pocket at some point, but I used one of those horrible neon cards. And then the same with this, I just used wrapping paper, but it was one of those neon cards, so this is going to be a pocket. You saw that one, you saw this one, and this one. I did not sew around it, I decided not to. And then I made this. This is, so that security envelope that I tore apart to make tags, this is the window that was in it. And then I went ahead and just collaged it with some scraps. And so this can also wrap around a page in your journal and have the window on one side. And then this would be a pocket on the other side of the page. And then whatever's behind here would show through, whatever's behind on the page would show through this pretty little window. That's a technique I've seen a few people do, so I really liked it. I think it's very fun. Another journal card, journal card, journal card. These are all journal cards. I guess I don't need to keep saying that. And quite a few of these you saw last week. And then I sewed around this one. And then just did a few more. I like the different patterns in these security envelopes. In fact, I hadn't noticed it before, but look, there's like this snowflake pattern right there. Interesting, huh? It's like a hidden design in the design. It's kind of interesting. There's some more old cookbook, and then a taller one with wallpaper. I think this was that recipe card. And then I just backed it with some more coffee dyed paper. So those are the ones that we are not decorating today. And then I have a few here that we are going to work on today. And I have saved you the time and the agony of watching me debate over how we're going to decorate these. So I went through and figured out what I wanted to use to decorate them. So if you want to craft along with me, go ahead and grab your stuff, and then we can get started here in just a minute. Okay, we are going to do these in turns, one at a time. And I'm probably going to start with easiest to less easy, and I'll talk about the elements that I picked. I decided to go ahead and go through my stash of pre-done clusters and embellishments of all sorts, and to find ones that would work on these tags, which is, after all, the reason that we make them, right? But sometimes I forget to use them. So let's start with this couple right here. I like this one. These are those little Tim Holtz people. And it's, you know, just layered up scraps that I glued together. And a lot of these I made last year when I was playing around. After Christmas and trying to clean up the stuff on my table, I just started putting things together. This is that tag that I did upside down, so I decided we would go ahead and use it. So I got a piece of coffee dyed doily here. And I thought it would be really nice to run a strip down the one side, and then that will just kind of give them a little background, a little something to stand out against, you know. I've got all kinds of glue out right now. I've got my Fabri-Tac, and I've got my art glitter glue, and I've got glue stick. I've just kind of got a little bit of everything. So I think the easiest way to do this, from what I've seen other people do, is to not try to glue the back of the doily, but to run it up the tag and lay the doily on it, because the glue that shows through the holes will then dry, and then it won't stick to everything. But if you do it the other way, it kind of just gets smooshy. Let's make sure we have good coverage under there. So I was gonna update you on hubby's stew. It turned out fabulous. It was really good. We were just talking about it again, and I decided that we should not put kale in it. I didn't think the kale added a darn thing to it. I'll let him do peas if he promises not to put the kale in it, because I don't know, it was just weird. It was just a weird thing. It got kind of slimy and twiggy. Just, ugh. Now maybe, I don't know, maybe we didn't chop it up right or something, but it was very good stew though. Very good. And then my daughter stopped by unexpectedly, and she hadn't eaten yet, so we gave her some stew, and then we had some stew for her to take home to her hubby. And yeah, everybody was happy, but then we didn't really have leftovers. Which, I don't know about you guys, but I do not enjoy cooking every single night. And in my dinner plan, every week, every day, whatever, the weekly menu always includes leftovers, like, especially when I was working, because I did not want to cook from scratch every single night after working all day. So leftovers were part of the plan, and we enjoyed them. I enjoyed them very much. My kids like leftovers. I don't know what I would do if I was married to a guy who couldn't eat leftovers. He would just have to deal with it, because or he'd have to do the cooking. I don't know. But what if he wasn't a good cook? Then there's that whole thing. Okay, there's this one. Let's find a lace to put on top. I like doing the little lace toppers. I just think they're so pretty. I don't know if I have one that's wide enough. This one is too white. I don't think, oh, you know what I could do? There's this little bit of that mauve color, and this isn't exactly, I don't think. It's not exactly the same shade, but it's pretty darn close. So let's cut this up. I don't know if this is gonna work. These are not my fabric scissors. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let me grab my fabric scissors. Every time I put these away to get my space all tidied up, I wind up having to get them out again anyway. So, I don't know why I bother. Let's see. This has a spot. Isn't quite how I wanted to do it. I wanted to fold it over. That might work. What do you think? I think that's just not quite long enough is what I think. These giant laces, look at that. I mean, what would you put that on? They're massive. I should actually probably just go through and pick that apart. Then I could use this lace all in one piece. And I am not going to do that on camera right now. Well, actually, I guess, no, it needs to be picked apart. So I will do that later, but my idea is that then this whole piece of lace here, I'm assuming it's all one piece, then I can fold it down on either side. And that white piece won't be there. And then it'll look a lot prettier. So that's that. I'll show you at the end. After it's all done, I can show you how it turned out. But yeah, this sewing right here is kind of in the way, but I think that's what I would like up there. So there's that one done. Okay. Let's put him back. Put my snippets somewhere. I should have brought a little bucket for my snippets, but I didn't. Okay, now this one was done with wallpaper, and then I sewed it. And now I have this strip of lace that I think looks really pretty. And then I went through my clusters and I found this one, and this color, this is from a scrap off of one of my daughter's old dresses. And the color is perfect to match that pink there. It's kind of a mauve pink again. And then, but it needed a focal point. So I went through my little stash of little things that make good focal points. And I found one of these handmade postage stamps that I did. Now I did these on camera almost 2 years ago when I very first started this channel. So I will link that video up above in the cards, and you can go back and watch how I did it. It was during pandemic time, but I was calling them postage stamp strips, and showing you how to decorate a page with the postage stamps, and then also showing you how I make my postage stamps, my faux postage stamps. So I like that he just, the color, the background color on that ties in very nicely with the grays on this tag. So we're gonna layer that up. And then I know that this piece of lace is a little long, but I did that on purpose so I can trim it off evenly up there. Yeah, so I had plans to make spaghetti tonight, but that did not materialize, so I guess we'll do that tomorrow. I just was trying to get all this stuff prepped and ready for this next video here, and then also editing, you know, the other video. So I'm doing a bunch of these in advance, filming a bunch of these in advance so that I can have enough content when I go in for my second eye surgery. So I'm just trying to back-to-back film and edit and upload and film and edit and upload. So because of that, I did not make dinner from scratch tonight. In fact, I just had a salad, and Tom found something in the fridge, and yeah. I don't know why I told you all that. I had a reason for saying all that, but now I don't remember. Okay, so we're going to trim that off here in a second. The glue's still kind of wet there. So let's glue this on. I really like this cluster. It's funny because I make these up, right? And then it's like you have the hope that you're going to use them later on something, but you don't know what. And then you kind of look at them and think, I'll never use these. But then today, when I was trying to find decorative focal points for all of these tags and things, it turned out to be a useful strategy, which made me very happy then that I had actually done these in advance. Now this does not have to go on there straight, and I don't think I want it too straight. I mean, this piece is straight, but I originally had it so that the back of it was straight, but then I didn't like how the paper lace was lining up, and I want it more, I want the paper lace kind of overlapping the fabric lace. So I guess the paper lace is straight and everybody else is a little crooked. And we should probably tack these guys down a little bit. Here we go. And put on our little focal point. So have you guys had any good shows that you've been watching lately? Tell you what, I have found a couple of really good ones. The one that I'm currently watching right this moment is called The Last Kingdom. It's basically fighting the Danish Vikings in Old England. So, you know, around 800 and some odd AD. And it's, you know, it's kind of gruesome. There's a lot of bloodiness because they were, you know, not nice people. They were bullies and they came in and took what they wanted. So anyway, it's actually a really good series. I'm liking it better than I actually thought I would, and it's been in my Netflix queue for a while, but I just hadn't started watching it. And then the one I recently finished, if any of you watch PBS, here, that one's done. If any of you watch PBS on a regular basis, the series I just finished is called Unforgotten. Now, I've been watching it all along because, you know, they introduce a new season every year, so you have to wait a long time in between. But I had seen seasons 1 and 2, and then I hadn't seen season 3. And then my daughter said, "Did you watch season 4? Oh my gosh, it's so good." And I'm like, no, I haven't. So you know what this needs? I'm interrupting my story here to tell you this needs that green vine. I'm going to go get that. Hold on. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. It just struck me. I always forget about creative inspiration striking when I'm in the middle of a project. That would look so cool. And then this is another cluster I made way back. Look at that. Okay, all right. More gluing. Okay, so back to the series, Unforgotten. It is really good. The ending kind of threw me for a loop, which was good in a good way, but now I'm really sad because I think that might have been the final season, but I'm not sure. And I don't want to say too much to give it away, but every season was really good. The first two, the episodes are about an hour and a half long, and then the last 2 seasons, they broke it up into more episodes, but shorter time, so they're only 45 minutes. And man, so it's got Nicola Walker in it. If any of you know who she is, she plays in like almost everything, and she's a great actress. And then the guy who plays alongside her, and he's her partner, because she's a detective in London, I believe. And I can never think of how to say his name correctly. He's Indian. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. I never quite know how to say it when I read it in the credits. But anyway, Unforgotten with Nicola Walker, and he's her partner. And they are detectives that do basically like cold case. Like when there's a murder or a body that's dug up somewhere, then they come in and they investigate it and find out what happened. But her approach as this detective is just... it's different from what you usually see in detective shows. See, I like mysteries. I'm kind of a big mystery buff. Ever since Nancy Drew, my first Nancy Drew book in 2nd grade when I was 7 years old, I have been hooked on mysteries. And this one's there. Every single one is a detective mystery, and just her compassion for the victims, for the families, and her approach and how she sees her job and her role. It's very compassionate, and it's just really, I got glue here, it's really different from most mystery detective series that you see. And I mean, yeah, she's a regular person and she's got her human foibles, but I just really appreciate her, the character, not Nicola personally, although maybe she's like that. I don't know. I feel like some of her approach to this character has to somewhat draw on something within herself naturally, but the character is just, I just really admire how she approaches each case. It's not just all clinical, And then how her interview style, when she goes in, she's so very unassuming, and she almost like, you know how the old series Columbo always would just, everybody underestimated him because he just seemed too relaxed, kind of. Her interview style is kind of like that. She'll ask him a question, and then they'll come back, and she'll know that they're lying to her, and then she'll say, oh, okay, right, okay, but then you see we found blah, 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 and so you see it's not possible what you just said. It couldn't possibly be how it happened. So would you like to try to tell me again what happened in your side of the story? And I just love it. I'm like, way to call them out without, you know, every time they're like, oh, oops. So anyway, it's, that's definitely a series that's worth watching again and again. And I think I've mentioned before, when I watch a series and then there's a gap in the seasons, I have to go back and kind of catch up. So I tend to rewatch episodes or the entire prior season before I start the newest one so that I can kind of catch up. That is super cute. Now I wonder if it actually needs the other thing. What do you guys think? By the time you tell me, it'll be too late. I really like that, though. I really like that. So let's see, does that now help it or hinder it? You know? I like this better. I may go back, depending on where I use this, and add a label or a word. Wow. Wow. Inspiration. I love inspiration. I love it when it strikes. I do like this cluster, though. I'll have to go find another thing to put it on. Okay, so that's 3. Look at us whizzing right along. So this next one, I wanted to show you some examples of how there can be more than one good choice. And sometimes that makes it hard. But on this one, I covered this with a piece of that old magazine, craft magazine. And I love that it has the ads, the classifieds on it. It's very fun. And it's going to be a pocket at some point somewhere. So I wanted to just put one of my little clusters on here and kind of add that as the focal point. So I started going through my stash and I found this one first. And I kind of like it. I mean, I like the blues. This kind of is the same as this, but I do like how that looks. So that was an option. And then I came across this one. That one is also an option, and because this is a little bit thicker, I could make it like a pocket on the front of the pocket. I could do a double, and I'm kind of drawn to that. I like all the greens and yellows. And then I found this one with the striking black and green. It's a little bit longer, but it fits, it still fits on there. And I like the shimmer in that lace. And I would probably ink it because this doesn't stand out very well. I'd probably go around that with some ink. Then I found this one. This one pops, you know, with the whites. And then, of course, a lot of these would need me to find another focal point to go right on top. So keeping that in mind, I'd have to do that. You know, this is the embellishment, but there still needs something to draw your eye in. This one is already pretty much done, so that doesn't have that problem. In fact, it's almost got 2 focal points. And I am not an art student, so I guess I can break the rules because I don't know and I really don't care. This one could also be like a pocket on the front of the pocket kind of thing. I kind of like this one too. I like the peachy colors. You know, this is the focal point. And I kind of like that one. It's a little big though. And so as I was looking at all of these, you know, each and every one of them has something to say for it. And I do like how they all look. But what I decided to go with was this one. Mainly just because the black is so striking and it's so different. So that is what I decided to do. Now what I couldn't decide is if it still needs me to add something here. So it still needs a little something something. So I could use like that sticker there. And that would draw in your eye. And then I also found this one. It's a, you know, it's one of those Tim Holtz ephemera pieces, so it says glycerin lotion on it. Or we could just leave it alone, and maybe later I'll find a flower or something I could put there, or I could just put a word. And so I think out of all those choices, I probably am going to leave it alone until I actually put it on in the journal. But I just liked the classified ads, and I liked how this looked, and I liked the black and the green because it's just something different. So we're going to go with this one. So yeah, that's just an example of how you can have more than one choice, and then it's really up to you. Oh, you know what? I said I was going to ink that, didn't I? I forgot. Let's do that really fast. If I can, without getting glue on my inker. I don't know. It's maybe a lost cause now. You know, I was thinking the other day about reality TV. And I'm not a real big fan. I never have been. I have not been drawn to reality TV ever since Survivor first aired back in the 90s. And I was like, this is crazy. This is just nutty. And so I never really took to it. But I had lots of friends who were really into that show. And then, of course, that was like what I consider to be the first reality TV show. I don't know if it was. At least it was the first one I was aware of. But I feel like it was. And so I'm just not much into reality TV. But on YouTube, as we're all crafting and we make our mistakes in every episode, it's fine. This is reality TV, isn't it? It's like reality TV, only without all the superficial drama, and none of us have to behave like we have never left middle school. So, man, how many of you would love to go back to 7th, 8th, 9th grade? Not me. I know I wouldn't. And I hated my kids being in middle school as much as I hated being in junior high. So where I am, our school district that my girls went to, 6th, 7th, and 8th are middle school. So K through 5 is elementary, 6, 7, 8 is middle school, and then 9 through 12 is high school. But where I grew up, just down the road, they did it with elementary, junior high, I guess that's how you emphasize it, and then high school. So junior high elementary was K through 6th, and then you didn't go to junior high till 7th. So 7th, 8th, 9th, and your credits in 9th grade still count towards your high school credits, but you're in junior high, and then 10, 11, 12 was high school. So a little bit different, but regardless, whether you're 6th through 9th grade, let's just say nobody wants to go back there and live again. I don't, and I hated it just as much. My kids were going through it as when I went through it. It was agony. Agony every time. So there's that one. It needs, I'm waiting to find the right thing, but I think it'll end up with a word or some kind of really pretty flower right there. Man, I'm looking at this one again. I just love it. Love it, love it. Okay, moving on. So, I think actually I want to do this one next. This is a booklet style. I'm saving this one for last because it's got so many pretty things. So this one is a little bit more involved. And what I'm wanting to do is put this sticker on the front and layer it over that little doily. And then I have this one that I want to put right here. And then I have this little cluster that's going to decorate right here. However, this, as much as I appreciate those flowers and everything, I wanted this to have kind of a naturey winter theme. Now, I don't think those go with that, so I just tore off a strip of wrapping paper. I'm going to tear that down a little bit more in a minute, and then I'm going to put this sticker. I think I had it going like that so you can see the sticker. This sticker will be the focal point, and it'll just layer over that piece there. Now my other challenge is that when I sewed this, it perforated the paper and it junked up the spine. It was having trouble here trying to feed through the machine. So my solution to that is, set all my little pieces aside. Hold on, Get myself organized. My solution to that then is to take a couple of strips of fabric and just glue them down to reinforce that on the inside and the outside. These were kind of, I would love to have found this green. Sorry, I interrupted myself. I would have loved to have found this green, but I know I don't have more of it. That would have been a nice one. So I went with a neutral instead, and this has a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, but has a little bit of a botanical pattern to it. And I think, I got out 2 strips, but I think if I just cut this one in half, I think that'll be plenty on the inside and the outside. So let's do that. Right down the middle. Hopefully it was cut on the green. Ha ha! Nice. Okay. You know, sometimes you get these quilting pieces. These were ones that I found at a thrift store, and sometimes you get them and however they cut it, they've cut it against the bias, and when you go to tear it, it tears like sideways. It's so weird. Okay, Fabri-Tac, where are you? So here we go. I think also it'll give it just a nice little, actually I don't want to go all, do I want to go all the way up? No, on this side, on the inside, I only want to do the pocket part. Otherwise it's going to interfere with putting things in the pocket. So, you know what, I may have to break down and get one of those sugar bell icing bottles everyone's putting their Fabri-Tac in. I haven't done it because I just figured I was okay without it, but this one's really hard to squeeze. And it's not, I don't know, maybe he just needs to be poked a little bit, unplugged. I don't know, he's just, I'm having trouble. And I think part of that is because when I cut the tip, I was trying to be very careful so that I wouldn't go too far down and all the glue would goop out too much. And instead, what has happened is that I can't squeeze it out at all. Okay, let's get going. I want to fray this a little bit. Where's that pin? I understand this is a good way to do it. I've seen a couple people do this online, and most notably Gail Augustinelli, but she freely confessed that she saw someone else do it, and I don't know who that was. So it is a very handy tip. Quick and easy for fraying your edges. I'm going to move that one so I don't use the wrong piece. Okay, bud. Oh, there we go. Hey, that's better. I want to make sure that I'm in good frame there for you. Yeah, I just didn't want the fabric to compete with the pattern on this paper, but I definitely want it reinforced so that it doesn't fall apart on somebody. That would be sad. Okay, which side had the pattern? There we go. I'm just going to kind of center it so that pattern lines up really nicely on here. Here we go. Yeah, so tell me if you guys have any really good shows. I'm definitely into the murder mysteries, probably more than my husband, but we do like a good storyline. We like some action and adventure. We can, you know, we can handle rated R. But I'm kind of learning though when it says TV mature, when it's got that rating on the TV, that sometimes I don't think I'm quite mature enough for mature content. Oh golly, it's some of that is deeply disturbing, so it just kind of depends on the show. Let's see, what else have I been watching lately? Just really trying to catch up on all my YouTube. I don't know how many videos all of you keep in your watch later file, but I literally have hundreds, and it's I had a couple hundred. See, I have a couple hundred in my watch later queue as creators call, but see, I watched YouTube for a long time as a private individual, a private citizen, and so I have that account as well where I tend to watch a lot. And then I have now done more watching as creators call so that I can comment, because that one is a private channel and, you know, it's not public, so I can't add my comments. But this is my public one, so if I do want to comment. Anyway, what that means is that I've been watching on both accounts and then putting stuff in my watch laters. And so there was like 198 on my private one and 200 and some on my creator's call. And I was like, good grief, why do I have all of these in my watch later? I mean, really? Okay, I got glue on my fingers. This one I did not pre-start. One of them I pre-started in it. It's going to be very handy when I go put it on the paper here in a minute. This one, now I've heard the pin is supposed to be good for this too. Let's see. I don't know how. I guess it's better than my fingernail, but I'm not sure. Oh, look at that. Oh, I don't know where I heard that handy tip, but man, I think I read it in somebody's comments somewhere. Except that it's not letting go. Let go. Let go. Okay. Ah! Ah! There we go. So, oh! I've had that sticker on upside down. I've been laying it on there this whole time thinking that it went like this, but no. Okay, so I'm gonna reverse where I'm putting it. So I wanted the pretty berries to drop over into the middle of the book. Okay, well I wonder if that's gonna change this whole thing. Since I'm going to cover that up, and you can't really tell that that's music anyway, other than these little German words are upside down. I wonder, I think this might be okay if I do it like this. Now, which way does this sticker go? These are easier. The ones with the vellum seems to me are easier to get apart than the ones with just the clear plastic acetate sticker. You to actually, oh, that does not want to tear. You're gonna mess up my balance, my scale. Well, fiddlesticks. Okay, you're just staying straight. Oh, okay, I can do it like that, right? Except I wanted the green at the bottom. Okay, okay. I'm gonna ink a little more. Sorry about all the inking. I don't generally ink a lot of things. But it does take time when you're trying to do things on camera. Okay. Can you tell that he's on there? He just got obscured by that branch, didn't he? Please tell me you're going to peel off so I can reposition you. Please. You have a pretty good chance. Okay. Change of plan. I'm going to make it go that way now. I have another piece of that. I could just tear off a different piece. All I have to do is remember where. Where is it? Okay, I think actually I do want to just leave it this way, but here, instead of finding more of that paper, what if I just cover it with a scrap of this? It's got the same idea. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use my pinking shears. My pinking shears that I can't remember putting in my Amazon wish list, but clearly I did. I'm trying to center that one particular flower. Okay, come here. And I think right about there should be good. Let's see, is that too much? Too far? A little bit. Okay, let's do it right here, and then we're going to give it a quick snip up each side. There. Okay. There we go. And then I'll just add a little Fabri-Tac glue to the sticker. Okay, and then going to ink the little bits that are light, that are showing. As usual, crafting on a wing and a prayer. Here, yeah, let's a little less white. although I don't mind it too much. I did go through off camera and add a little ink and stuff in here to kind of grunge it up. Okay. I'm going to put the glue onto the paper and then lay the fabric down, and I'm going to do it kind of light, and then I'm going to use my finger to spread it out, and then hopefully it won't make lines through the fabric. It's really pretty. Glad I thought of that. Okay, come here. And for my sticker, it's actually going to look really cool, I think. Yeah, I still got to do the front of this guy. There we go. There we go. Okay, look at that. Problem solved. And actually, I think it looks even better, and that was just because of the quick adjustment of turning the sticker the other way. But I think this actually looks better than what I had. Yay! This is one of the things that it took me forever to figure out what I wanted to put on it. I think I spent a good 30 minutes or so just trying to find what to put in the middle of the square. And now in 10 seconds or less, I figured it out on the fly. Figured out something completely different. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. And then on the front, okay, so we have reinforced our little seams. Boy, that is thick. That could almost be a journal all by itself, except I'd have to sew through there, and it would probably not do nice things to that stitching there. So, oh, that's cute. And then you can put things in the pockets. I'll find little thingies to go in there. So on the very front, I want this, and I'm going to ink it. I wonder, now that I'm looking, since this is so white and I was going to ink it, and this is coffee dyed, it won't have the lacy bits. It would just look like that. Is that okay? I think it might be. Goodness. So much for pre-planning what I was going to do, because we're just abandoning it, as is my habit. Okay, now more inking. Yes, indeed. Isn't that funny? You kind of get the idea, and then you change your idea. That's one thing about creativity. It just, once it starts going, it's like priming the pump. You have to do a couple things and kind of get going, and then the ideas start coming. And then you're on a roll, and you just change up all your plans anyway. I do kind of like how creativity unfolds like that. It's not a linear process. Anybody who thinks creativity is go from point A to point Z is not obviously creative. I know we had a neighbor when I was growing up, and he was an illustrator for children's books. And my dad is one of those people who, or was one of those people who, if a job needed to be done, you just got in there and you did it, and you didn't mess around, and then you moved on to the next thing. And so, because Mr. Lamberson was an artist, he very often would have projects, and he would put it off until the last minute what it was he wanted to draw for these different assignments for the children's books. And it used to drive my dad nuts. He's like, I don't understand it. Why doesn't he just get in there and work a little bit every day? But he would put it off, and then when it was getting closer to the deadline, he would start working and then just go and go and go and then stay up all night, as we all like to do. I understand this perfectly, because I think it's just the way being creative works, truthfully. And if you ever read any of those biographies, like about Michelangelo or Da Vinci or any of like the really creative people, they will think over an idea. They would think over an idea. And now this is the one I pre-started. Do you think it's still started now? And I know that it was going the right way on this one. They will think over an idea and mull it over, and then sequester themselves and work feverishly until it's done. And I find that I have that tendency too. If I really were to just let myself go, I would do nothing but create and ignore food and water and people and life. And then like come up for air once the project was done. I'm doing this because I've gotten my little fingers all over it, so I want it to really stick really well. Anyway, so I just think that's something that's very unique about being creative, you know? Just how the process works. It's never a straight line, I don't think. Now, my other idea for this, because like I think I mentioned before at one point, when it's Christmas, I really like it to have glitter and gold. I am tempting fate by getting out the gold paint. Remember, this is the gold paint that exploded all over me a while ago. But I just really think, oh, yes. I don't know what my obsession with this gilding is when it comes to Christmas and nature things. And I think maybe just on the corners. Oh, yeah. I wonder. And I don't know of a better way to apply this than with my fingers. Maybe there is one. I haven't stopped to figure that out. I just feel like I have better control when I just use my actual hand. You see that? Can you see how it's... If I had glitter powder, I would almost sprinkle some on and just let it catch a little bit of the glitter. So let's see, I'm keeping my finger over the end. That's not helping at all. Yeah, this is the one that the lid broke off and I got paint all over me, so I wrote myself a note, don't shake, the cap is broken. And it is, you can tell right in there, it's broken. So there's a little bit of shiny right there, so I think it would not hurt at all to add a little bit. Ooh, oh yeah. Just a dab, a little dab will do ya, right? To the fabric to give it just some... I've never done this before. Who knew? Who knew this could be a thing? I didn't. Oops, that's dry on my finger now. I think I want just, come on. I'm trying to be so careful that I'm not getting any paint out. I think I want just a little bit right through there, and then I think a little bit on that side. Just kind of carry the gold over. I'll just wipe my finger here. Okay, it's very subtle. You can't really tell, but it's right here and here and here. Can you guys see that? I guess it would help if I was trying to show you in the camera. And then on the front, ooh, I like this. This whole thing went in a random direction, but I really like what happened there. You know, I have a feeling because the cap's broken, this is just gonna dry out in there. I'm gonna have to put it in a baggie or something. That would save all of this, wouldn't it? Okay, next thing. Boy, we were on a roll and then all of a sudden we weren't. So moving right along, quickly. Now this is the last one, and what I saw when I was taking these pages to cover some of the other bases, there's this ad in here. So this is from the 50s, I think I said, or maybe it was early 60s. Make $1,500 in your spare time before Christmas. And you know how you do it? You sell, I think, Christmas cards, gift items, cosmetic samples. This is not Mary Kay. But I've noticed in a lot of these older magazines, a ton of ads, especially the craft magazines, a ton of ads for make extra income at home by selling Christmas cards. I don't know why. I don't know why they think that would be a great idea. Or why Christmas cards? I mean, of all the things that women at home could be selling, why would it be Christmas cards? I don't know. Anyway, I find it interesting because I had no idea that was a custom at that time. So what I'm doing is just kind of giving it a little bit of a torn edge, and I thought this would make a really cool focal point on this pretty Christmas paper. I really should tear that from the other direction where I have something to grip. There we go. That went a lot easier. And then I was going to layer it up on some music, I think, maybe. Can you tell that that's music? Maybe not, because it doesn't have enough contrast. And then I have this piece of acetate that I really liked the design on it, and this beautiful acetate flower, but it needs something behind it, like that doily I just tore up. I have this one. Let's do it that way. It just needs something behind it there to stand out. I just think that'd be really pretty, pretty, pretty. See that? Let's see. Let's figure out how we want to do this. But I just thought the vintage ad made it pretty cute. And then we've got this pretty flower. What do you guys think? Again, I'm asking. And again, I can't really hear what you're saying. And again, it's going to be too late by the time you get to tell me. Because we're just going to do it, right? Yeah. Okay, I like it with the doily. Do I want to do anything to that doily? I kind of like that it just stands out, that it has the... What I might want to do is take it in a bit. That might be what I do. Just so there's not so much doily. Because I don't think I want it... Or do I? Do I want it showing here? See, like, actually what I need is more doily. So this stands out on something. Okay. See, it's gonna get, it would get cut off a bit right there. All right. And my doily's not even right way up. Well, weird or not, we're doing it. I wonder if this is turning my glue stick red. Oh, it's not. Nice. You know what I could do? Eensy bit. Wrap it around to the back. And then I'll just peek over the edge like that. There we go. Now it's a continuation. Okay, now Fabri-Tac, quick way. Okay, there we go. The red is coming off because of the glue onto the lace. It's turning my lace kind of... Oh, it's making the dye run in the paper. Ah, that was unexpected and not at all welcome. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to finish this part and then I'll figure out what to do about that. Okay. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it, so good to know. The acetate in the, or acetone, I mean, in the Fabri-Tac will cause the dye in this to run. I mean, I haven't had that problem before, so it must just be whatever was used on this tissue paper. Okay, I want you over so that when I do this, I think it's gonna just come down a bit, so you're gonna go up a bit so I can see you. Okay. There we go. Now we're back on track. Hopefully the acetone doesn't eat through the acetate. I don't think it will. I think I just got a glue glob somewhere that I don't want it. There you go. Off there. You can kind of rub it and it'll gum up like a rubber eraser. Like a, you know, those white art erasers, it gums up and then it rolls off, brushes off. Okay, I'm just making it worse. I'm gonna let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Now, I think I want that kind of right here-ish. Yeah, I don't need it at an angle. It can be straight. Very nice. All right, saved it at the last minute. Woohoo! Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So now you just kind of see the before Christmas and the cute little lady, and that's really all you needed to notice, really, right? Okay, let's put out what we have. What we have is a gigantic reminder to ourselves that even though you might have an idea in mind, it may change direction after you get started. Okay, so there's this one. I'm going to zoom out a bit. There we go. There's that one. Here's our booklet that we had, folding gently. And then inside, and our fun gold paint, and the stickers, and all of that. I really like that. I'm going to put a paper clip on it right at the moment so it will stay shut, but that paper clip is not going to live there. Okay, we have this tag that we did first, and I will add a cute little topper to it. And we have this one that I decided I liked it better like this, and so I took off, as you will recall, this focal point. Yeah, I really like the simplicity of that. So when I get ready to use it, I'll add a word or a label or something. That will be really cute. And then there's this one, same thing. I'll add a word, label, or a little flower or something when I get ready to use it. Just depends. Wanting to make sure you can see all of them. And then this one was probably, honestly, the easiest one to do. I don't think I made any changes to him. Wow, did I? I didn't really change that one. I just showed you the options. Changed that one, changed that one, changed this one. This one was the same. I just need to fix that. Need to fix my topper. Okay, guys, that is it. We are wrapping up for another session. Today's quote, make sure I have the right one. Today's quote is this one by Emerson, and it says, "You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late." You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late, by Emerson. It's true, don't hold off on doing good things or kind things, because sometimes you lose the opportunity. The opportunity passes, and it may be to your detriment or that other person's detriment. So no reason to hold back. If you can truly show a kindness, do it. All right, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me, and I'm sorry for all the hemming and hawing, even though it was pre-planned to not be that way. And until next time, I want you to take the time to be inspired and do something creative. Talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.